Hi, folks. I'm Gene McLaughlin. I'd like to welcome you to Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. On this program, we usually have a guest to talk with the mayor and I. However, this being the year-end recap, it'll just be the mayor and I today, talking about what went on in 2018, what we can look forward to in 2019. And hi, Mayor, how you been?
Hello, Gene. Thank you so much for having me.
Good,
I
Mayor.
can't believe it's a year.
I was just going to say, that's what I was going to start
Oh,
off
my
with, Mayor.
God.
And thinking about the program, year 3 of term 2
yeah.
is in the books.
It's unbelievable, Gene, and how fast time goes.
Yeah.
But, when you stay busy and the days and the weeks and the months,
Right.
and now it looks like the years have
I know.
have
What'd
gone
you think
after
of the
each
year,
other.
generally?
I just got used to writing 18. I'm going to be writing 19 in 4
right?
weeks from now.
Yeah.
So
What'd
it's,
you think of the year? What were your thoughts?
Old Bridge, as far as Old Bridge is concerned,
Right, yeah.
Old Bridge has had, what's that saying, the best of times and the worst of times.
Right.
We've lost some good people from Old Bridge, but
Right.
yet we've achieved some really great things in Old Bridge. I think financially it's probably one of the best years we've had in town. Economically,
Right.
one of the best years we've had in town. So I'm going to say from good to a great year we've had. It's not over yet.
Okay, well, that's good, Mayor. I see recent breaking news that the Moody's gave the township an outstanding rating.
Yeah, outstanding, positive. I mean, that was one of my obligations when I was elected 7 years ago,
Right.
that I was going to straighten this financial mess out. And here we are 7 years later with our financial institution telling the same thing I've been telling the people,
Yeah.
and they're telling the financial world that Old Bridge is in good sound. It's in good hands, as they like to say.
Yes.
Our finances have never been better. So we are a place to invest your money. If you have money, they want it invested in Old Bridge. Our interest rate is very low because of our bond rating, and we've been able to save the taxpayers after 7 years probably a couple of $1 million
Really?
just in interest payments
In
alone
interest payments
by
alone.
improving our credit rating.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay. That's pretty good. Mayor, one thing about the money situation, the budget, what is the impact Trenton has had, if any, on with Governor Murphy coming in, making changes? Is
Well,
that
it's not
impacted
going to
the-
have an impact on the municipal budget. The municipal budget is going to be fine if they don't cut state funding for
That's
us.
what I was getting at,
But the
yeah.
biggest impact on the taxpayers of Old Bridge,
Yes,
and this
sir.
is going to be big, is the reduction in state funding for our school system. We're the only town in Middlesex County who was punished, as you would like to say, and our funding for our schools was cut drastically between now and 2025. I don't have the exact numbers, but it's in the millions.
No, I remember Superintendent Sitter,
Yes,
talked about it.
we
when he was in
talked
there a couple
about it.
months ago,
So
yeah.
now the taxpayers of Old Bridge are going to have to make up that gap or some part of it. So it's going to be interesting moving forward. If anyone in Trenton is listening, please, restore that funding. It's not fair to punish a district that is achieving what it has achieved
gonna
over
say,
the
yeah.
years with our graduation rate, with our number of students going on to additional education, both in college,
Right.
our number of students going into the military. Our programs are working. It makes
Yeah.
absolutely no sense to punish a district like Old Bridge, none whatsoever.
Was there any rationale given?
The rationale was enrollment.
Oh.
We have a state funding formula that we are using in 2018 that was developed in 2008. It's 10 years old.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a century when it comes to planning.
sure, yeah.
Everything changes overnight sometimes.
Yes, sir.
That school funding formula is based on enrollment, and the enrollment in Old Bridge is down. And they've reduced our funding based on enrollment.
Okay.
But they don't take into account in that 2008 funding formula school security.
Mm-hmm.
They don't take into account that our programs, that we want to expand our programs
Right.
and give our the kids here in Old Bridge and our young adults a better opportunity to succeed in life. So to reduce the funding is just,
Yeah, that
I
seems
think,
short-sighted. Seems
negligence.
very- yeah.
It was a redistribution of wealth. I think the governor was wrong when he said he was going to add money to
Yes.
education. He didn't add any money. He took the same amount of money and spread it out
around, yeah.
over the state. And Old Bridge, I believe, I think there was only about 100 districts that were cut in funding, and over 400 districts got
more
increase in
funding.
funding.
Wow.
Got increase in funding. So we'll see if it's fairness. If it doesn't work out, the people in Old Bridge are going to have to step up to the plate.
Yeah, okay, Mayor.
And that's a
thanks.
shame.
Okay, Mayor, on the plus side, it seems to me there's been a very aggressive year with new business
Yes.
growth, economic development. A lot's been happening here.
Yeah, it's probably when it comes to economic development, it's probably the biggest year we've had as a
Yes.
town, and that effort was started 7 years ago.
Right.
Things like this don't happen overnight, and now they're starting to occur on a monthly basis. This year we've brought so many things to Old Bridge. We've brought the hospital,
Right.
the expansion of the hospital. We've brought the warehouse to Old Bridge. We're bringing the hotel is almost, is
Yeah,
ready to open next
right.
year. We've taken, Steve and I have cut, I think we're up to 120 new small businesses in
In the
town
last
in the
year or
last 2
two,
years
yeah,
or
I
so.
saw that last 2 years. Yeah, that's amazing.
And that's amazing because they're the backbone of our community,
Right.
these small businesses. Our business alliance has taken off. It's been recognized statewide. Our business expo was a huge success.
Right.
We're planning it again for this year.
Oh,
We might have to go to a different venue because of the amount of people that
yeah,
turned
I
out.
know. Yeah.
But yeah, a lot of good things are happening, and that's not because of me, but that's because of the efforts of Steve Bamacus and his staff and just everyone wanting to be involved in bringing small businesses to our community. And that has a drastic impact on our taxpayers, trying to make that balance.
Right. I thought was interesting, Mayor, was we're getting brand names in here now. Aldi's, Hampton Inn, Chick-fil-A.
Chick-fil-A,
Getting brand
Hackensack
names.
Meridian.
Hackensack Meridian for the first time. That's significant.
Yes,
That
very
says
significant.
a lot of good things.
Yeah, well,
about the village.
we've marketed Old Bridge, we've branded Old Bridge. As everyone knows, we were in the running for Amazon
Yes.
because we went through that exercise and we showcased our town. And Amazon did a great job by getting all the information they could
Oh, they sure
out
did.
of all those towns,
Yeah.
and now people are using that information. So
Yeah.
I think it's how should I say, like a benefit that these other companies now are looking at Old Bridge, and we're pretty confident that that's going to continue.
That'd be great. That would be great to be able to extend this role.
We constantly looking, we don't shy from anyone.
No, I see that. I remember when Steve put the ad together for the Amazon people. I said, well,
Yeah, and I was on the phone with them a couple of weeks ago with Amazon.
Well, you really?
Yes, after we found that we were not chosen, Long Island City and Virginia, we said, hey, Old Bridge is right in between. Wouldn't it be a great place for, some Amazon stuff? And they agreed. Yes, it would be a great place, even if it wasn't for Amazon. But there are thousands of subcontractors
Yeah, a
that they
distribution
use
center.
to do their business. So
That'd be great.
they're looking for distribution centers. Yeah.
Mayor, if I may, expanding on the development situation, what's happening to Cottrell Farm and the barn and
Yeah,
a lot of talk about
well,
that?
we have control of it now. We've
Right.
put forth to the county a plan. We had a open public meeting that showcased what we want to do with Cottrell Farm, our vision for Cottrell Farm, and that's going to get started in 2019, phase 1. It's going to be a hub for the city of Old Bridge for cultural arts, meetings. We want everybody in Old Bridge to be involved in that.
Participate, right.
The house is in gorgeous condition. We just got to do some outside. The
Right.
barn is going to be converted. The outbuildings are all going to be saved, and they're going to be turned into useful into walking trails,
That'd be a
community gardens.
nice amenity.
It's going to be great. It's really going to be a center of activity for the town, right? Dead center, and anyone living around, close proximity to it, it's going to really have a quality of life improvement with that being there.
You think you'll get the community garden concept going? I've been with friends of ours in
I
other
think
areas.
so.
Those
Yeah,
community gardens seem
I
pretty.
think it's going to be a combination of community garden / organic growing of vegetables for our food bank.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get a lot of people involved in that, and help them. The mayor's wellness campaign. It's all about eating healthy.
Right.
So I'd be remiss if we didn't grow fruits and
some healthy
vegetables
food.
that was
Okay.
healthy. Yes.
Mayor, to turn to another subject, we recently had Maureen McLaughlin in here
Yes.
talking a little bit about the opioid crisis and so on. How are we doing in that, you think, with Maureen's work and the general work?
Maureen has done an excellent job along with other organizations. Maureen has meetings. We've given her space down in South
Right, she
Old Bridge
told
to
me,
expand her services. I recently, at the League of Municipalities, sponsored a resolution that would divert federal funding directly to the municipalities,
Really?
as opposed to the state, as opposed to the county,
Yeah.
and the trickle-down effect.
Right.
I mean, we're fighting the war. That
Yes.
money should come right to us. So we'll see if it gets any teeth. The league passed it unanimously, so that's going to be forward to the federal, who has the purse strings. The federal government has, I believe, committed a couple of $2 billion to fight the opioid, and we want to make sure that money comes to towns like Old Bridge. I think we've had some success. Do we still have tragedy? Yes, we still have
Right.
had tragedy. But we've expanded our programs to include just about everything.
I know,
Education, treatment, recovery. We have our
resumes.
angels in the hospitals now. Our life coaches that will talk to the addict after he's been Narcaned.
Yeah.
We're doing the best we can, Gene.
Great achievement in tough times.
Yes, I mean, can I say that the death rate is down here in Old Bridge? Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely down. But we still have a problem. But I think we're on the right path with education, enforcement, treatment.
Right.
We're on the right path, and we can overcome this. I really think we can, if we just keep moving in the right direction, and we get some of that, a little additional funding, so groups like Maureen McLaughlin can concentrate on their job and not having to go out and fundraise all the time.
Right, Dave, she was mentioning
Yeah,
that.
so-
Mayor, to that point, what do you think of this business of legalizing marijuana? You for it, against it?
Personally, I'm against it.
Yeah,
Personally, but I'm in the minority. The state voted to legalize it. I respect and accept the decision. I think it has good and bad. I'm not going to buy the money part of it,
Yeah.
that the state is going to make millions of dollars off this. I think the problems associated with legalized marijuana are going to rear their ugly heads here in Old Bridge, even though the council did take action to ban any type of distribution or growing
saw
of,
that,
of
yeah.
marijuana here in Old Bridge. You'd be naive to think that we're not going to be faced with the problems. And I don't know. I think it might have been a knee-jerk reaction at the time, Gene, because the official statement from what's actually going to happen, we don't know yet until the legislation is passed and we get a chance to see it. We have not been able to view the legislation.
Yeah.
How many distribution centers are going to be they're going to be licensed, where they're going to go. A lot of towns have zoned for it. A lot of towns like Old Bridge have said no, we don't want it. I'm a big believer in medical marijuana.
Yeah, medical marijuana seems fine, but
I'm a
isn't
big
it
believer in that, but the
inconsistency?
Township of Old Bridge has even, I believe that's not allowed either.
Isn't it
so-
inconsistent, though, to be throwing money at opioid addiction and then legalizing marijuana,
I
which
certainly
could be a
feel
gateway
that.
to
Some people, but
addiction?
Gene, there's a lot of experts out there that have data, that have numbers that would prove that legalized marijuana would lead to a reduction in opioid abuse.
Really?
There's the medical field that, so it's a very complicated.
Yeah.
Marijuana has proved to be good for
some medical,
people,
apparently
medicinal
it's
reasons.
verified clinically, but it seems just inconsistent to me. I don't
It's,
know.
and I must admit, I have a lot of friends, not a lot, but a handful of friends that work hard. They make a lot of money, and they'd rather not drink alcohol. So on the weekends, if they want to use recreational marijuana, I have no problem with that. But they're adults, they're
Right.
responsible. I just don't think we should make it, giving this into, anyone under the age of 21.
Yeah, definitely.
I would even go to the age of 26 because we know the addiction qualities.
Right.
That a brain that's not developed. So
It's going to be interesting.
It's
to see
going to
how
be
it
a wait
turns
and
out, though.
see. But whatever happens, as the mayor, I'll be ready to address any problems that might occur.
Okay,
And
Mayor.
a bigger problem than the marijuana, Gene, is this vaping epidemic we're
Yeah.
having. It is an epidemic.
Yeah, well, they're banning that too in some places.
Yeah, they put a hold on it. They
flavored
put a freeze on it, but they've opened up everywhere. These vape shops. And
when
who knows
things
what
get
there's in
simple
these?
and more complicated. They
Yeah.
get.
So
Okay,
it just
Mayor.
seems like a perfect storm coming
It
our
does.
way.
It really does. Mayor, if you just hold your thoughts for a moment, please.
I'm gonna
Folks,
try.
We're getting ready to take a break right now. We're talking with Mayor Owen Henry. We're sort of recapping 2018. In a few minutes, we're going to be taking a look ahead to 2019 as far as the township's concerned. Please stay with us.
Everybody has a dream. Mine was to see the ocean. And with a little help, I made it.
It's fine that other people like you. It's more important that you like yourself. And I'm comfortable with every part of me. Meals on Wheels coming to my door as someone who's housebound assures me that I'm not forgotten. They care that I'm okay. My name is Asha Ida Bell. America, let's do lunch.
Drop off a hot meal and say hello. Volunteer by donating your lunch break at americaletsdolunch.org.
all the things you've done with your bike, donating it to Goodwill may be the most incredible of all. Your donations help fund job placement and training for people in your community, which means your stuff can be more powerful than you think. Donate stuff, create jobs.
Hey, you.
Yeah, you. Getting that college education, what are you gonna do? Graduate and take some office job? Be like everybody else? Or will you dare do something different? Like, be a teacher. You could be my teacher. You got the skills.
The smarts?
Yes, you. You could be the teacher I never forget. That'd be cool. Does that corporate job even have recess? What are you gonna make of yourself?
What are you gonna make of me?
Hi, folks. Welcome back to Albridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. We're talking with the mayor today, recapping 2018, and we're going to take a peek ahead at 2019. We're going to pick it up right here. Mayor, one thing we've made a major commitment to this year is public safety, police work to schools, some of the synagogues. What's happening there? Are we that?
Yeah, it's a shame, Gene. The society we live in now, we've had to take action. Some might call it drastic, but we have a shared service agreement with the Board of Education, where we have armed policemen in every building where education's taking place with the public school system, and we're still doing our roving drive-throughs for other locations. But the Board of Ed, based on what has happened in other parts of the country, I think the one in Florida, Parkland, was a defining moment when they decided that they wanted a police officer in every school, and we've met that with the new class of officers, a Special 3 officer, which is recently retired, a police officer, still able to carry a weapon, and that's all they can do is school functions. It can't be used for any other thing. So, and it's a lot of money. And it's a shame that we have to go. But that's the first thing we think about, Gene, when people are coming together. Security, are they safe? And there's nothing more important to me than keeping this town safe.
Oh, definitely. I mean, particularly in today's world. Mayor, did they replace the school resource officers that have been there?
No, we've added, as a matter of fact.
We still have the school resource officers.
Yes, and now a sergeant was made. We went back to the council because we were maxed out at sergeants, but our ordinances, for our patrols and our bureaus, but they wanted a sergeant because of the amount of people that were now going to be working in the schools. I mean, you have probably 20 dedicated each day.
Wow.
So we have a sergeant now who's responsible, and he keeps an eye on everyone.
But there's also been an expense for new equipment, right? For different equipment and scanning.
Yeah, the school board is putting them. If you go by the schools, you'll see I got to call it like a toll booth.
Yeah.
It's going to be installed in front of most of the schools.
That's the kiosk concept?
Kiosk, where the officer is going to be highly visible outside the building, and anyone going in the building will be checked into that building, as opposed to now we have to actually go into the building. And then you're checked in. So now that there's going to be another wall that we would have to go through, another barrier. And I thank all our Special 3 officers. I've interviewed each and every one of them. They're really special people, willing. They're retired now. They're willing to. They want to continue to be.
That's a shame. Shame we have to do that.
It's a shame, but like I said, it's something we have to do.
Yeah.
What's our options? We have proven here in Albridge that we're not exempt from crazy. We had the shooting up at the Pathmark.
I remember.
So hopefully society will take a deep breath one time, because it can't keep going in the direction it's going. We're putting armed guards in front of everything. We can't.
I know.
It just can't continue down this path.
We don't have the resources. I know. Okay, Mayor, a couple other things, if I may. I saw in the paper we now have an app for parking in Old Bridge, a Way to Park app. How is this going to work? Is this only for residents to use, or is
whoever
it
uses our commuter parking lots?
So it could be me or anybody else.
Yeah, you can go on if you want a day. If you want to park there for a day.
So how does it work?
Jim, we had to somehow stop the dollar bill crunching. And
I did it.
It was 2018, and it's something I've been pushing for years.
Yeah.
But you know how change is.
Yes, sir.
And no pun intended.
No.
But it was costing us more to get those dollar bills and iron them and count them and bring them to the bank.
Right.
Now we've done everything app-based, where the commuter can pay for a week in advance. The license plate, he doesn't need a sticker anymore. He puts his license plate in. We scan the plates every day. We know that car is legit.
So it could be somebody from Marlboro, somebody from
as long as they go on the app, and they can park for a day. I think there's daily, and they'll tell them where to go. Worst case scenario, if you have a question, where to call, our clerk's office, they're well versed on if you buy a new car. I mean, there's always going to be bugs and stuff.
Oh, sure.
The first couple of days we had some bugs, but we were there in the morning showing people. I mean, people were trying to put the dollar bill in the.
Yeah, I did it. I used to do it.
No, not into the box with it, but they were trying to put it into the machine where you would press your button.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, But I think it's working well, and our goal there was to make the commuting experience less stressful, easier, faster. A lot of people to do it on a bus on the way in, as opposed to standing there waiting in line and then waiting for the next bus.
Right.
They can go right to the bus and do it. It's done. It's done.
Interesting.
So I think people now, after a couple of months, have accepted it. They like it. A lot of people now
That's
do
a
enjoy
definite
it.
plus.
It is and that we have so many commuters in the morning, Gene. So we have to make their lives easier. And now it gives us more money to invest into those parking lots. They've seen tremendous upgrades over the last couple of years. New surfaces, new lighting, new curbs, new sidewalks.
I know. Yeah.
Now we want to go to security.
Security.
That's our next move now. We've run all the conduits. So we're going to get some, I'm not going to say what we're going to do, but we're going to make those lots more secure now.
Okay, thank you, Mayor. Mayor, we also see that you've instituted a new program, Walking with the Mayor.
Yes.
The Health and Wellness Committee.
We're at the shops at Old Bridge once a month.
Who are you walking with and where are you walking?
Well, the first walk, we've only done 2 so far.
Right.
The first walk was with a handful of people, just talking about Old Bridge and healthy living, both mentally and physically, exercising. The second group I walked with was a large group from our Community Options program, our adult special needs,
Yes, sir.
who really enjoy being outside, and I really enjoy being with them. And then we walked, and then we had breakfast, and it was a very enjoyable morning, and I'll remember it for a very long time.
That's interesting. This is down at
The shops at Old Bridge, yes.
Okay.
Go online, see when the next one is. Please join me. We'll see if it's snowing. It's cold, but it was cold and windy that day. But it feels good to exercise. You don't.
Yeah.
It feels good.
Okay, Mayor, good. Mayor, one thing, you just touched on Community Options Program. This is the special needs for people that migrate out of
Camp Robin or a high school where they become adults and the state recognizes them as adults.
Yes, sir.
And there was no program in Old Bridge to take up that slack. Now there is. The Community Options where it's career-based, functioning at whatever level they can to become productive members of society. And the parents, everybody I've talked to loves the program. In fact, it's so popular, we're looking for a second location now to open up another Community Options.
Need,
the need is there.
People, yeah.
And it's insurance based, so it's everyone can take part in it.
That's a plus.
Yeah.
That's a plus when the kids get that old. They have to do something.
The parents. Yeah.
Mayor, unfortunately, we lost some good people this year. Huh?
Yeah.
We've talked about them before on here. We lost Art
Haney, former Mayor Art Haney. That was a shocker.
Ann Miller.
Ann Miller was a shock.
And Betty English.
And Betty English
just
also.
passed.
And all three of them were very influential.
Oh, I know.
In my political career, a lot of advice came from Art. Mrs. Miller was a pillar of the community.
She was wonderful.
She was wonderful. I think she was my best supporter. If anybody said anything bad about me, boy, she'd let you have it.
Yeah.
I loved her. We're going to be dedicating her chair in memory of Ann Miller. We're getting a plaque made up for it now because she was at every council meeting.
I know.
Planning board meeting.
Saw her for years.
She was
outstanding.
and the community Miller.
That's good.
And we're gonna. I do miss her, but I think about her often. Same thing with Art. I think about him.
Well, I think about it a lot.
Yeah, we're going to be naming the library after him. I believe the council.
That's a great idea because I remember when the library was built and Art was very instrumental. And he was mayor then, I guess, when it first started.
Yes, he was instrumental in getting that building started and open it. Now it's just one best public library in Middlesex County. In fact, I'm going to that banquet. Betty English. She was a history. She would come in my office and let me know the way it was,
Yes.
and the way it's going to be.
Yeah.
She was a nice woman, very nice lady.
Lovely woman. Lovely woman. You knew Betty very well. She was very good.
And there was no buffer with Betty.
No, I know. Betty was.
And I appreciated her.
Betty was
coming and seeing me.
Mayor, let me ask you before we go to put your crystal ball in operation.
Okay.
We take a look at 2019. What do you see? Capital improvements, budgeting, new things.
We're working on the budget now. We're almost completed. It's looking good. The budget's looking good. We're again investing a lot of money back into the community with our capital. We're again being very, very fiscally responsible with our operating budget. We continue to grow, but yet the finances pretty much stay the same. My budget after 7 years is still about the same as it was 7 years ago, down from the 56 million to 52 million the next year, and it stayed pretty much constant over 7 years, which is an accomplishment in itself when you look at municipal.
Well, given some of the things we just
and
discussed.
that's one of the reasons why Moody's looks at a town and says, wow.
Police department,
Police
expenses
department,
go up
I've
and-
hired, we're up into the 30s now of new police officers since I've been the mayor. The whole department has pretty much been transformed to a young man and women's department. If you see our young patrol people out there, say hello to them, thank them for their service to our community. And we have some, I'm not going to say older, but more experienced officers now taking over command and administrative duties. And they've made a big difference. Big, under the direction of Chief Folkert. They've made a big difference. We've been able to do more. We've been able to make this town safer. You know, we were, nominated, not nominated, but we were recognized as one of the safest towns in
the country.
Safe cities in the country, in the state.
Real win.
That's more or less because of our police department.
Right. Okay. Mayor, see any capital improvements coming? Any new business
Our big
development?
focus is going to be on the control farm. We're dedicating some big capital money there. Obviously, our resurfacing program, our curbing program, and our drainage program will be the same amount of money that we've been putting in every year. We're finally to catch up. Our township engineer, Nicole Shapiro, has just been outstanding. She had a 3-year plan. Looks like we're going to be done with that 3-year plan this year.
Really?
So early next year.
Wow.
So we're going to continue down that path of saving and investing into our community. We're going to be getting equipment that we need, much needed equipment, where we need it, if we need it. But we've been very fiscally, conservative with our spending and spending it where it needed to be spending.
And controlling it, as you say.
Controlling,
That's the key,
And just
what do you think
just
the
business
biggest
101.
challenges next year? You have a challenge or something you'd like to see done
the
that
challenge,
hasn't been done?
you're always going to be faced with challenges when you're a municipality. Weather, you never know what the weather's going to bring, even though people think I can control it. And we saw that a few weeks ago where the night before they were calling for rain.
Right.
And then I got a text 3 o'clock in the morning said it's going to be 3 to 6 inches of snow. And so I was kind of shocked by that, but the snow did come down. Locally, our local roads were in good shape. I think the county had some issues. It was a perfect storm, no pun intended.
I know.
Came down heavy, came down during rush hour. So it was, and it wasn't called for, it wasn't predicted.
Right.
So they had no time to brine ahead of time. So it was a nightmare.
Okay.
It was a nightmare, but we all got through it. We're ready. Township is ready.
Okay, Mayor.
snow.
Well, I want to thank you for taking the time
Thank
out
you, Gene. I
today
always appreciate the opportunity to talk
to
about
review
Old
the
Bridge.
year, talk about Old Bridge. And I want to thank you for your support of the station this year again.
Yeah, we're investing in the station.
Investing in the station. And I want to wish you a Merry Christmas.
Same
Happy
to
New
you.
Year to you
Same
and your
to you.
family.
Thank you.
And folks, this has been Old Bridge Outlook with Mayor Owen Henry. For this time, I want to wish everybody in the audience a very happy Hanukkah, a Merry Christmas, and a healthy 2019. We'll look forward to seeing you again next year, and thank you for supporting Old Bridge Television. Take care. I'm Gene McLaughlin. Goodbye.